And have you visited, I'm sure you visited countries in the Middle East, many countries. So what's your favorite country?
It depends. Actually, I think if I was being really honest, my favourite country is Iraq.
Really?
Yes, I'll tell you for why.
On which level?
I'll tell you why. Because you've got everything in Iraq. You have everything here.
Everything like what?
You have the history.
Yeah.
That goes back centuries. Goes back millennium, in fact. Last week, I was down in the south of Iraq, and I went to Ur.
Okay.
And I went to the ziggurat, but I also went around the ruins of Ur and some of the other archaeological digs. So you have the great the archaeological sites. You have Mesopotamia. You're in the middle of Mesopotamia. The two great biblical rivers of the Euphrates and the Tigris. Babylon, which I visited last year. The citadel at Erbil in the north. So you have Samarra. You have all these fantastic archaeological sites. It's a really exciting place.
And then you have than archaeological sites?
Then you have the marshes in the south and you have the mountains in the north.
Yeah.
The Kurdish mountains are spectacular, particularly in winter, but also in summer. And the marshes which are now being re-flooded in the south, which of course go back many centuries of tradition. So you have the geographical and the geological spread as well, from the desert of the south to the mountains of the north. There is no other Arabic Middle Eastern country that has that type of spread. So I think that
there is Lebanon.
Yeah, but Lebanon on a much smaller scale, much smaller scale. And so you have this vast scale, and of course Lebanon doesn't have the two great rivers. It doesn't have the Tigris, it doesn't have the Euphrates.
So they have the sea and the mountains,
they have
and
the sea,
archaeological sites.
But you have the sea, you have the Gulf, of course, the outlet into the Gulf around Al Far Peninsula in the south here. And then you have the long-standing Iraqi culture. You have the Iraqi Arab music, but then you have the fusion. Again, we talk about fusion. You have the Kurdish Arab fusion here, which is fascinating. When people talk about the Kurds and the Arabs in Iraq today, they think about the problems. Actually, I look at the opportunities and I look at the history, and it's much more about those fusions, much more interesting than many other parts of the. In Iraq, you do see the history. So I think in a round way, you have everything here in Iraq. So I think Iraq is probably my favourite.